Right, so let's look at this closer. If the ocean was curved, the clouds would also have to follow the same curve as the ocean. You see, you cannot crook the clouds. So some unscrupulous people are cutting out yachts and dropping them below the horizon, or they're dropping their camera and filming one single yacht on the horizon, saying, well, there you see, that's the curve of the ocean. And think about it. They'll tell you that the ocean rises up, but yet that same curve won't affect the angle of the yacht. So in reality, this is what we see. Notice that small little boat in the distance, and there's the horizon. We don't see this. There would be hundreds of images from people all over the world partaking in yacht races that will show you photographs like this. Not what we see. You see, we see the buildings, we see the other boats just simply getting smaller on the horizon. Look to the right of the shot. Look at those buildings in the background. They're not sinking below the horizon. So what went wrong with this person who took this image? You see, they will tell you that if you look, the buildings will fall to your right and to your left. Well, that would mean that you standing in a bowl of water, you'd be standing in a donut of water. It's logical. They're talking nonsense. This is impossible. So it's logical. The same curve that would be from the front to the back would be on the sides. So if the building in front of you is truncated, slightly to your right, that's what it would look like. So for argument's sake, you know that that city is 80 kilometers, and you can see it's flat in front of you and to your left. Well, then that water in front of you cannot be curved, it must also be flat. It's logical. Yes, if you can see 80 kilometers to the left and to the right of you, that 160 kilometers in the front of you is nothing. It's tiny. If it's flat there, it must be flat by you. How can the bit of water in front of you now be curved? It's crazy. Yes, so we see it's flat. Everything's upright. The water is flat between yourself and those buildings. If you say there's a curve, right, and the horizon is still flat, that means you're standing on a tube of water. You're standing on a cylinder of water. It's crazy. So some people are resorting to trickery and deception. They are deliberately altering the images. And think about it logically. How can the yacht be upright and the building be upright? You see, from your perspective, this is impossible. How can a building be upright and dropping below the horizon? The yacht and the buildings would be at inverse angles to each other. So they'll say, no, the Earth's such a big ball that you can't see the change in angle. Well, then you wouldn't see the curve of water rise up either. You can't have one without the other. And this is what we see. You see, the ship's at an angle because the wind's blowing it, but the buildings are upright. People all over the world take photographs like this, and there's the Second World War. How come these people took photographs in the Second World War? And these ships are in perspective. None of them are falling below the horizon. Even a submarine sees the whole ship. You see, how come the submarine with its tiny little periscope doesn't see the ship sink below the horizon? So this is actual footage of a ship being torpedoed. So the submarine would see this image in perspective. The submarine could spot the ship from kilometers away, would move in closer, undetected, and then let off a torpedo. Look at the smoke from these ships. They don't step down, they don't curve down, It's in perspective, because the earth and the water is flat. You see, people are taking photographs, and the buildings and the ships don't sink below the horizon. You have to ask yourself, how come there are millions of pictures like this from all over the world, from sport events, newspapers, in the movies? This is what we see. You'll never see a Hollywood movie and the ship is below the horizon. How come? This is reality. It's flat. Ships and buildings do not sink below the horizon. So there are a group of individuals, and basically they're Freemasons, and they're lying to you.